All right, it's Wednesday, May 13th, about 12:15 in the afternoon. I'm done for the day. I just want to make one more video here, just updating the other video and text, I made and sent to you, just showing the SPY, how it's gone lower and what's developing and just, how those other stocks worked out. And then I made one more Amazon trade. I'll just show you the reason I made that. But again, I'm just making these videos just to kind of show you, first of all, just to clarify a little bit better how my relatively simple approach works when it comes to midpoints of the daily bar and high and then opening price action, how that consists, and you just kind of track different stocks and know the context of those stocks. You put all that together, there's a lot of good opportunity high risk trades. Again, it's not so much that I'm trying to just, that I'm want you to trade this way yourself. I don't know. It's just it also helps me discipline. When I make these little videos, it kind of just reinforces what I need to keep focusing on as well, as crazy as that sounds. And it's just, enjoyable for me to sometimes make these videos when I see good opportunities but the main thing is to point out, I think, again, to clarify what I do day to day, how pretty simple it is. And then B, just to point out that there are a lot of very low risk, high probability price action type trading. So just with that in mind, just the SPY, I sent you that text that I thought it was going lower. You can see here, this is the daily chart, and this is kind of a 1 minute chart on the day, what it's done. And you can see here, yesterday was a big red day, and today we followed through with another red day. And when I sent you that text on the 15-minute chart, it was right in here, and the market had kind of opened lower below the low of the day. Here was the midpoint of yesterday, this blue line. So we're nowhere near that. It just rallied up to yesterday's close, and then had a reversal bar, red bar. And then we were in here, and that's when I kind of texted that, look, the only way this market could even begin to look good right now is if we get above the intraday high of like 2870, and even there you'd still have to get to the midpoint and at the most, and it would probably be difficult. But I anticipated that was going to be the high of the day, and most likely this market was going to take out these lows. And once we broke 2840, which is a key level, because you can go back here 5 days ago, you can see that's a key support level, and it matched up with today's low, how that would then take it down to the 2800 area, which is exactly what happened. So unfortunately, SPY doesn't look too good right now, and I've been anticipating this. Now, in terms of the weekly chart, you're still inside of last week's green bar. So if we're going to get a red, we have 2 more days to go. Let's see if we break the low of this bar and then form a red bar, and then we probably can follow through into next week a little bit before we can get some reversal. And again, on the daily chart, what I'm looking at now is pretty much you're going to have to get some kind of midpoint and higher kind of set up to start the longs again. And that's why price action wise, until we really get a midpoint higher, I'm not going to get too excited about long trades. Now, today I took a few, but again, you can see the context when I was buying Teladoc and mRNA, and I saw Netflix had a good start, and NVIDIA, I can show you that. But all of those stocks were in the context of a market that was nowhere near, going to be a strong day versus some of these other contexts. So just keep that in mind. So like Teladoc, for example, where it might seem like, I was lucky the way, if you look at the 15-minute chart, I bought it right here on this breakout because this was a great setup, midpoint of yesterday, double 15-minute pause, and then it started higher. And I took, I scaled out, and then I took a 4-point gain right here at 190. Now, that's like right near the highs of the day. And now, my target was kind of above yesterday's high in this condition. And then the markets collapsed and the stock collapsed. So even if it was a strong market, I probably would have been exiting here and missed some of the gain. That's just the way I tend to trade when I see this kind of reversal above the yesterday's high, given that the thing is it closed at yesterday's low. So this wasn't the type of day where it was like a strong follow, like here's I can't show you one on this chart, but a strong follow-through day where it closes up strong the day before, pauses, and then makes another green move. This one was taking all the way yesterday's low, all the way up to yesterday's high. That was the context, and that's why generally, it was that's where I would have exited most probably anyway on this kind of a day, and B, the market was weak, and that kind of drove me to be very cautious and just take profits early on any long trades. So, and then Clovis, just to show you that. Whoops, didn't hit it right. Let me go to this other screen. Clovis, where I know, it's not good right now, obviously, that coming down. If you look at the daily chart, I mean, at the time, again, it was holding up here above the close when I made my first video, but you can see here on the daily chart now we're going to have our first red bar. Now, to me, this isn't that bad in terms of you got the up channel going on, and I can allow for just a couple of days of red pullback and then look for that midpoint higher to get long again. That happened back here at 750, and now we'll see again whatever forms in here, it could be fine for the uptrend, and then we're just going to get a midpoint higher. So I need to see that to get excited about Clovis again. And quite frankly, on the weekly chart, knowing that this is in a big downtrend, I'm not that excited context wise to even be in this stock until you get a breakout here, either above the trend line or above, like we talked about 1150, or then that should take it up to 16 or 17. But given that it's just grinding up in a downtrend, once you get a kind of a swing trade in here, you get one push up, down, and then all you're expecting is really just another push up into resistance here somewhere. So as it turns out, I mean, you don't know for sure, but yesterday's high, this big push up was like taking out these highs, and that was kind of it in terms of a swing trade in a downtrend. So let's see what happens. I don't know if you still have it or not, and it's still in an uptrend, and we'll see. Again, this could be a great situation if we just pause here for a while and can't really, break down. Then it should be moving for another push up, and but again, I'm going to look for midpoints and higher at this point. I would also look if it came all the way down to 7, since this is support. If somehow it came down here in some kind of manner, this could be a good area to buy if you get good price action early in a session. But for now, midpoint and higher is what I'm looking for. So I just thought I'd point that out. And finally, just Amazon. I just wanted to show you one. It's kind of like my casino trade. It's like instead of going and playing blackjack and putting money down or the odds aren't in your favor, what was happening here was Amazon on the day, it opened, down like most other stocks went up, and then it came all the way down. And at that point, when it was really falling strongly, I put an arrow here on the 1-minute chart. Market was reaching that SPY level of 2,800. So that was going to be a pause area or a support area, at least temporarily. And Amazon was making all these swings down. And then you had a big spike on this volume here, which signifies some buying. And I just went in here and bought here at 23.51 just for a bounce trade. And you can see here it got all the way up to 23.75. I got out in the 23.6. I just took not knowing, but with high probability that this wasn't going to go down without a little bit of a bounce, especially because the market was at support. Just to show you, even in these conditions and the market's falling, everything looks red. You watch the different flows of price and the volume, and you're at a level here where it should bounce, and then you get in, and again, it just offered a little bit of a buy trade. And you can see here, Amazon, I don't really like it. I mean, it went up, went all the way down, broke the lows. Here's the bounce. You got the reversal bar. Now we're heading lower. And on the daily chart, this is still forming type of thing. It's overlapping price at the moment, but you still want to see if we just hold here, then this is going to be a little range it's in, and we're going to have to see if it breaks down below or above. If it becomes a red bar by the end of the day, then you're going to want to see midpoints and higher looking at Amazon. So I keep coming back to midpoints and higher early in the day price action. That's what I'm really pointing out with these videos, and just thought I'd show you different examples. And then the market itself, the SPY, what's developing there. We're overlapping on the weekly chart, but could be the beginning of a little breakdown and deeper pullback here. So we'll see what happens.